Hello. You're from Ikwejo. Me free be quiet. Na so me ejuma e Flatbush, New York. Na debia me ejuma nye sika. Na me pese me poni kakra koma me busuafo e Ghana. Na so me hu kwan a me mfa so.
Oh, Kwejo, am I wrong, Hokra? I day want to Jupe in Kana.
Jupe?
Aye, Jupe. Jupe ye a quine for abai, the first manisika, every America, at the Ghana. Now, I need you some a woman say, Jupe Bema best rate on the market, $5 discount on your first transfer, 0 transfer charges, and a fee, simple and instant value to bank account, and mobile wallet. Not just say, and go straight to your Momo account. After you know, so I refer or Biba Jupe. None or shut us here as NDC car. 1%. Aya wodia.
Jupe! Yay! What is the HSMO? Ghana from Wabrochire. Mufa Jupe and NDC car busa for Ghana. Oh, Ghana swa. Catch up busa for say, Omofa Jupe and Senosika embryo. Jupe! Number 1!
My singular pleasure today to be here in the office of Baffour, who is the chairman of NDC New York. Now, the foreign wings, what I call the foreign wings, and I think it's pretty straightforward, the foreign wings of the parties play a very crucial role in the organization of the party back at home. And we are here today to talk about that in relation to the NDC New York, because Pudonana is the chairman of NDC New York, and also we will, keep the discussion going on current issues, most notably the just ended national executive elections back home in Ghana. You're welcome to MixMixx, and on GHMix now, Pudonana.
Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, please introduce yourself properly to us, your name and how we may properly address you, your title and all that.
The Pudonana is a very strong the title.
It is,
and it comes from Bantama, and our great grandfather was king of Bantama, so we also have that title.
I see.
Yeah, but here I'm known as Baffour Gyawu.
Okay.
Popularly known as Chairman Baffour.
Chairman Baffour.
Yeah.
Chairman Baffour. Maybe I'm a fro Pudonana sa.
Yeah. Oh, I do they say no. If you phone a fro,
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. But Baffour, let's talk about NDC New York.
Yeah.
What's your impact on the organization of the party in general? Especially, zooming in towards 2024, the elections 2024.
Oh, yeah, we are going to play a very crucial role. Back in 2016, we realized that the NPP brought people like Hobson Adoy, and they started going to radio stations, and the narrative that they were giving was unique. It was something that we had never heard before, because they were pushing people who are here to talk to their family members, friends in Ghana. And they were telling them that they should let them know that they are in the advanced countries and they know how things are run. And for that matter, if they want Ghana to be okay, they should listen to them. And they were giving them how to speak to them. They were giving them the talking points. Yeah, to the extent of one time, the Ghanaian community in Tracy Towers were having a meeting.
Yeah.
And one of my friends delayed. So when he came and I was asking him, why? We are almost finished. Why are you not coming? And he says, yeah, because I was settling some issue in Ghana. I said, what is that about? And he says, there was people were contesting for this parliamentary seat between NDC and NPP. And both NPP and NDC has given some items to the voters. But the NPP candidate, his supporters use or invoke the local laws that if you have taken anything from them and you don't vote for them, something should
die or something.
So they were scared. So they had to consult him. And I was saying, why are they not consulting anybody in Ghana but here? So I asked him, how were you able to settle it? And he says, oh, I told them that since it was the MPP who invoked the boss and NDC didn't do that, they vote for the MPP and then leave the NDC. You see, so when we realized that, I started also going to radio station and I was countering Hobson Adoye. A few times I met him on Amanado Radio. This one is in Denver. And I debated him. One time even Solomon Owusu had to debate him, or he became the host and he was also hosting me. So we realized that those who are outside Ghana, because we send some remittances to this our loved ones, family members and all this, when we speak they listen.
You have a lot of
yes, so this is what we've realized. So in New York right now, we are putting up a very strong communication team. And we're going to do a lot, and we think that is going to have a very great impact.
Amazing. What's your strength? What's your strength? What's the size of your membership in NDC New York?
NDC New York, the thing is, we have two parts, right? Currently, we have about 437 people, active members, yes. But beside that, we have been able to, we have gotten to almost more than 6,000 people in New York. They are sympathizers, supporters of NDC. But the thing is, they are not active. They don't want to join, or sometimes they say even if they join, they won't get time to show up and all those things. So they are there. And these are people, if ROPA is triggered, we can get to them because we have them. We've spoken to a lot of associations, churches, and they have all open. They've guaranteed us that if ROPA is triggered, they will give us an access to their database.
I'm happy that you mentioned ROPA because aside ROPA though, how effective is NDC New York in supporting the chances of, say, the NDC back at home in the next election? What's your impact going to be like? Are you able to, say, move some of these 6,000 people that you mentioned to go back home and go vote for them? Because I saw the NPP do that in the last election. The last two elections.
Okay, good. Because we haven't done that, right? So this time is part of our program that we are going to encourage people to go. So we're going to start very soon. We are going to tell them that those who want to go to Ghana should maybe take vacation and make sure they take it around that time so that they can be there and vote or help with the campaign and all these things. So this is what, and also, if we are talking about over 6,000 people, they may not be active members, but when it gets to a point where we need money, we can get to these people, and even if they give us like $10, $20, that can help. So
I was about to say that because you say, if all these 6,000 people can go to Ghana, at least they can support in different other ways, outreach programs, they can do different things. That's good to know. So recently the NPP USA had a meeting. Judging from the membership, and there's a video that should be showing on your screens by now. But judging from the membership, they are not playing. They don't seem like they feel any remorse at all. They are not apologetic about what's going on in the country. They still want to bring the aid, like they say. What's your reaction to that?
Oh yeah, they may feel that way, but because if I were even in their position, I'll be doing the same thing.
I see.
Because quite recently we attended a party. It was apolitical. It wasn't a political thing. But one of the MPP ladies came out, started talking about President Baffour Gyawu and the good things that he has done. And the party,
shut down.
He nearly shut down. Because people just got mad, got up and started screaming, pounding on the table. And
Why do you think that?
what the DJ did was he had to play
Music
Onapo Mahama. People started dancing to that tune.
Oh,
And
yeah?
Yes. And
Because
that
I was about to suggest that maybe the audience just didn't want any politics, period.
They didn't want it. No, but the thing is, some of them are mad because look at how the dollar was, rising against the city.
Yes.
So if you are here and you are looking at all these things, come on, wouldn't you be bad? So they want, now we are here, we are feeling all these things, then somebody is telling us something different. We know that you are not telling lie. You are not telling truth.
Chairman,
Well,
let me ask you though, doesn't that worry you? Because it looks as if people are not looking at the reality to vote, right? So no matter how well your candidate did in his previous, epoch, no matter how, no matter what message you push, there seem to be some people who are just blind to anything because you can see from the video, they seriously want to break the aid, and they start a small group of people.
Well, we know that because the thing is, we talk about poverty. When you are poor, right? Sometimes, if you are thinking about what you eat today, if you don't know what you are going to eat in the next 4 or 5 hours, why would you think about the future? So this is the problem that we've had. And previously, this is how they win elections. They come and they pay money to people and all these things. But I think this time around, Ghanaians are seeing certain differences. Now, some people even think that, look, all those things that they are doing are not true. You can take the money and still vote against them. Because when I was...
Even if they make you swear on some...
yeah, you see, the story that I was telling you, when I told you that when I asked the guy, how were you able to solve the problem? That's what he told me. He says, oh, okay, just vote for these people because if you vote for them, then that's it.
Yeah.
But right now, people are seeing that, look, all those things are...
So are you also going to invoke curses on the people who you give money?
I'm good for boot, and I'm a hardliner. So if I'm there, they invoke it, I'll do the same. So that now the voters will judge us on merit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which they were supposed to do in the first place.
That's what they're supposed to do. So if they don't, if they come with something, I come with something, then we leave it to them to judge us on merit. Yeah.
That reminds me. President Mahama said, "Do or die, 2024."
Yeah.
How do you understand that message, and what's your own? How do you package that for your members?
We know when we say do or die, it's something like by any means necessary, but not actually saying that you should just push to the extent where people are going to die or you yourself, you will die. So that was what President Mahama actually meant. Yeah, but if it was left to me, I would say he shouldn't even explain it, leave it as such. Because if they are going to kill us, like they did in Techiman, then boot for boot, then it's do or die. The literal meaning that people think that it is, we should stick to that. Yes.
Wow. Zuba was also vying for, I think, the vice chairmanship slot or something like that. But he made a statement in an interview that we had with him, and he said, if the NPP tries to, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the exact word, but he said something to the effect that if the NPP decides to kill the NDC folks, their folk will die too. This time we're not going to just be sitting ducks. You will attack us, you may kill some of us, but some of you will die too.
And we know that in 2024 some of us will die. You understand? And we are not ready to run away from that fact. They killed 8, they can kill 20. They could include me. I do not care. You understand? But we are ready to die and save this country. And trust me, we will die and save this country. But if they try killing people, those who will die will not only come from the NDC, some of their people will also die. In 2024, we will not be the one to throw the first blow. It won't happen. God forbid that the NDC will be the one to throw the first blow. But if they dare throw a punch, we will not sit down quite like we did in 2020 and watch them. If they throw one blow, rest assured they can take 3 in return. So some will die, aside alone. Some of their people will also die.
Is that the same stance you have?
Well, look, our constitution tells us that we have right to self-defense. So we are not going to kill anybody, but we will defend ourselves. So if you are killing me,
all costs.
look, right now, you and I are here. This is New York. If somebody comes in right now with a gun, once you come out with brandishing a gun, what do I have to do?
Defend.
Yeah, I'll defend myself. So we are not going to go on a fence because we think that we are going to sell a good message to the Ghanaian people.
Yeah.
And based on that, they will vote for us. But if we win and they want to kill us to take it, then they are the one coming to kill us because they own everything. They control the army, the police, whatever. So if they are going to use that to even intimidate us, then that's where the constitution will come in. Yeah, because the constitutional order is what we will, stand by. We will defend ourselves.
Okay. All right. I want us to talk about the just ended, elections, but I'll save that for last. Before then, let's go on your own election issues here in the United States. A short while ago, you had elections.
Yeah.
You went unopposed, I hear.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then you had other people elected. But there were some issues concerning the broader NDC family, that is NDC USA. What exactly is going on there?
Yeah. You see, the NDC USA, if you go to Ghana, right, everybody would be telling you, why are you guys fighting? Why are you guys fighting? Right? The fighting doesn't come from here alone. Part of the blame, I would say, comes from Ghana. Yes, because our directors who are there, when they come, they align themselves with one side. Yes, and when they align themselves, this is part of human nature, because if somebody is close to me, I would like to protect that person.
So.
Yeah, so I actually don't blame them, because when they come and they are incumbent, they work with them. So they align themselves with them, and when it gets to some point, they want to protect them. Yeah, so that is where the problem is. Because if they come and they take themselves out of our elections, and they say, look here, you guys sit down, come up with something reasonable, the way you want to do your elections. Right?
When you say one side,
Yeah.
What do you mean? One side of what? One side of...
Yeah, the thing is, you see, sometimes they align themselves with the incumbents, and sometimes to its personal relations with some individuals. So when you have that, you would like to protect those individuals. So that's where the problem itself stems from. Because if they can take themselves out and it says, you guys do your own thing.
How influential are they? How are they able to, stage manage things here when they are in Ghana? How do they do it? With money?
No, not with money.
Aligning themselves with the bigger boys in the party?
Not with money. The thing is, let's take a look at this. Right? We were going to vote. Then the executives here, the chapter executives, said, oh, we were waiting for the standing orders. It took so long for the standing orders to come. But they themselves knew that there were certain things that they can do before the standing orders comes in. Some of them were like, let's find a venue where we will host this conference. So they thought it was wise for us to find a venue. So they told all the branches to submit bids, which we did. Only 2 branches submitted a bid. New York was part of it. But our bid was superior because we offered to host it 100% without anybody paying anything to us. And Ohio also submitted theirs, but theirs was inferior to ours. So you could see that ours was very, very, good. But the incumbent comes from Ohio. So because of that, when it got to the point where the chapter executives were supposed to decide who won the bid, somebody just moved the motion and they suspended the bid. Later on, they told us that, oh, they've been told not to discuss anything about chapter elections until all branch elections are done. Fair enough. So branch elections were done. Then they say, oh, they're going to talk about the venue. All of a sudden, when they got there, they told us that New York and Ohio, both of them were disqualified. All this period, they never informed us that we've been disqualified. I even wrote formal letter to them, to the chapter executives, asking them about the status of the bidding. And they told me the same story that, oh, they are not talking about the chapter elections until branch elections have been held. So when they were done, we heard some rumors that it would be taken to Texas. I did not take it seriously because the thing is, Texas did not submit any bid. So why are they going to take it to Texas? But when the day came and they were deciding, they said New York is disqualified, Ohio is disqualified.
On what ground?
On what ground, we didn't know, but somebody told us that they were saying that if somebody is running for chairman from a branch, then that branch cannot host. This is new to us.
Is that in your constitution?
It's not.
Is it in any of your bylaws?
And they didn't even tell us, because even if they have told us, maybe we will tell New Yorkers that nobody should run so that we can host, but they didn't. They just went there.
So who was running?
Oh, we had a doctor, a very good Dr. Salifu. His name is Dr. Salifu. Very, very, intelligent, and he's been with the party so many years, and he knows a lot of things. Has very good institutional memory, and he, very knowledgeable about everything. Yeah. So yeah, and they saw that the man that we have presented is very strong, very knowledgeable, and all these things. So it threatened them. Yeah. So what did they do? They said now New York cannot host, but so they were looking for a place to go do it. Then somebody proposed. The incumbent proposed Texas. Texas that we have heard that they were taking to, that we branched it off. Then another person also said, I'm proposing New York. You said you disqualified New York, but they allowed New York also to be in there, and they voted between these two, New York and Texas.
They voted between Texas, which was never who never submitted a proposal, and then
and New York,
who
that
had been
disqualified. Yes, and Texas won because they knew what they have done already. They voted for it. But prior to that, after that, so many things have come out, and I'm looking to see if investigations will be done in this regard. Because our former deputy treasurer came and said that certain things, he wrote an article saying that the incumbent campaign team told people to come and pay $700, and if you pay $700, you are guaranteed to win. So some people went and paid that $700, including some people from New York. They went and paid.
To find out if this is true, because if they include people from New York, this will be your members.
Look here, at least we know one person who did not pay, and nobody was running against him. He's called Ofayao. This Ofayao has been on radio. He's a communications, our communication bureau in New York. Look, I can tell you that all the people in New York, USA, nobody goes to radio station or other places than him. Very articulate, very knowledgeable, very smart, and we all know some people even call him Samir Jemfi of
the Samir Jemfi of New York.
Yes, he's that good. So nobody wanted to run against him. But about a few days to that, when he refused to pay the $700, they brought somebody to contest him.
Did you check with him to make sure that they actually did approach him to pay $700?
Look, he's been on radios, he's written articles. As we speak right now, he has written a petition
on that.
To the Council of Elders here to take a look at it.
Okay.
And also the one who wrote the first article is very credible. So that's why I'm saying I'm looking if any investigation will be done with that regard.
Chairman, yes. This is a party that is seeking power.
Yeah.
What do you think these type of things signal to the fans, though?
You see, that's the sad part of the whole thing. We are here, right? We're putting in our resources. We are not getting anything. I'm here. I'm not going to look for any position in Ghana just for the love of the party. So that's how, it hurts when you're trying to do something good for the party and some people just come in and they just throw the whole thing away just for the interest of few. You see,
Yeah.
that hurt because as I was telling you, New York, we wanted to host this event. The reason was being that we've heard of ROPA, right? And if ROPA is triggered, there's no place in the US that has more people that can vote for NDC than New York. So the reason why we wanted to do that is we have spoken to these churches, associations, and all these things. So after the elections, in the evening, we were going to have something like a very big event for people to, come and feast and all these things. And we were going to open it to everybody, every sympathizer of NDC or every supporter of NDC, not just the registered members. So that we needed that exposure, you see, to bring in more people, because we knew after that a lot of people would join us, and a lot of people will at least get something at the back of their mind that if ROPA is here, they should look for us so that we can help them register, and maybe when it gets to the time of voting, they can vote for us. So we were looking beyond what some of the people are thinking. It's written in the standing orders that if there's a confusion about the venue or disagreement, it should be taken to DC. Yes, that is what they told us. And with all this confusion, the bidding process and all these things, because they were saying that it's the sole right of the chapter executive to choose the venue. But in the past, they have
What
used
chapter executive? MPP?
No.
NDC USA.
NDC USA. We call the USA chapter,
Right.
and the states are branches.
Okay.
Yes. So they told us that it's their their prerogative to choose the venue. But in the past, they've used bidding process, and nothing prohibits them from using the bidding system to choose the venue. They've done it more than one time.
Is it the fact that it's their prerogative?
Yes, it is. It is. But because the thing is, you cannot just sit down and decide that you are taking the team to Alabama where they have only about 15 people, 15 members. So that's the reason why they always want us to bring bids. Tell them that you can pay this much and you want them to support you with this. And in that New York, we were going to take 100% of the cost, you see. But they took it to Texas, and only a few people were able to go. About 168 people, to be precise, attended that event. If it was brought to New York alone, we would have had almost more than that. And if it was also taken
How many
to...
people do you think would have been there?
Where, in New York?
New York, yes.
Oh, in New York. New Yorkers alone who would have come there, let me be very conservative, it would have been about 300. Yes.
Resident New Yorkers alone.
Resident New Yorkers, before those who will come from outside also to join us. Yes, but they decided to go there. And my point is, you have a clause in the standing order that if there's controversy, if there's disagreement, which we all know that this is what happened. But they refused to just trigger the same clause that they themselves have put in this standing orders, no matter what. And they decided to take the thing to Texas. And if you are going to Texas by bus, the minimum that you are going to be in the car, it says 27 hours. Who can sit in a bus for 27 hours without traffic, without stopping? So if you're going to stop and take a rest and all those things, you're talking about 37 hours. How can we do that? And if you are going to take, at the time that the standing orders came, if you are buying a plane ticket, the average cost of plane ticket was about $450 before you rent a hotel. So you want me to,
And New York would have paid for some of these costs, right?
No, if we were going there, that's the
No, I mean, if
per
New York had
individual.
hosted it, you would have paid for some of these costs.
The,
What were you going to pay for if you had hosted it?
If we were going to pay for the venue, the food that they will eat for
Okay.
3 days, and a whole lot of things.
And Texas didn't pay for that?
No. Texas did. But what I'm saying is how many people can go from here? Because the thing is, if you are driving, the thing was supposed to be held on Saturday. And if you are driving, you should leave here by Thursday. You see? And you see, by Thursday. And also, you need to take about 1 week off. The thing came so late that who can get 1 week off from their job? You see, if it's going to go to a place like Texas where most people want to attend, give us an advance notice. Tell us, give us an advance notice for about a year. Let people prepare their vacation around that. And nobody will have a problem with that. So all we were saying that they should at least send it to where majority of the people can go. So DC, if they're not bringing it to New York, DC could have been an ideal place for us to go, but they still refused to take it to Texas.
And they held it in Texas.
And in Texas, only 168 people were able to attend.
Did they conduct elections?
Yeah, they did conduct
elections. And they've chosen no executives.
They've chosen no executives.
Who I would assume are not don't have the blessing of NDC New York, for instance.
Well, we decided not to go because the thing is, we knew prior to that, DC Metro had their elections. And what happened was they had to call police because the list, the register that they had that they were going to vote, when they got there, they saw that new people have been added. And according to those who were there, they didn't even speak Ghanaian languages, they were purely Americans. Yeah. Well, according to those who were there, they were purely Americans, and when they challenged it, they called police.
But there could be people who have been born to Ghanaian parents who live here who don't speak the language though.
Let me tell you why. So let me tell you, those who were there, those who were challenging it, why couldn't they explain that to them? But they called police, and when the police came, they just told them that they are the organizers, and the police called them and said they have to have their way. So they had their way. They voted, and the incumbent who did that was the one who won.
Did anybody raise a challenge to this?
Yes, because the one who was contesting them raised it even before they started the vote.
Did NDC New York make a formal protest
about
what you just described? Because you wanted to fill the candidate. Yeah. Obviously, you have been denied the opportunity to have your candidate considered. And then also, you've been presented a situation where you could hardly even attend the event.
Yeah.
Have you made a formal protest?
Yes, we did. We sent petition to Ghana and a whole lot of things. Because look, sometimes I don't blame them. Because you see, this past our national elections, what happened? And these people were all very busy. So it was very difficult for them
to get the attention.
Yes. So sometimes you hear that it has been given to FEC and things were delaying, things were taking a very long time. So we knew that even though we sent petition, we knew it was going to be very difficult for them to pay attention to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll follow it. We'll follow the whole story. We'll see what comes out of it. Because personally, I think that a party that's seeking to unseat a corrupt government should show some level of, honesty and equity in its dealings.
Exactly.
And these things kind of bring, a sour taste in all of our mouths. But anyhow, let's talk about Ghana. They just ended elections, executive elections. Let's start from the bottom up. The youth front. There was such rancor on the youth front.
Yeah.
What do you think was the reason for that?
Well, I would say love of the party. Because
that's why they were fighting and
those who were contesting, everybody believes
they love the party more than the other one.
They believe in themselves that they can do the best job. So if it gets to that point, you are so passionate and you want to win at all costs. So I think that was what happened over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think though about some of the things that were said? Right. First of all, and I'm going to be very blunt about some of these things because we still. Okay. Let me say this. A lot of information is gleaned off non-traditional media. Some of these are quality information that we do not process properly. So we will try to process some of these things. We heard that somebody like Pablo was, not too trusted or something like that. I'll zero in. I watched an interview on Kevin Taylor's show where a gentleman explicitly said that he saw him take money from Baako, things like that. Do you think these things, that is the party worried about things like that, or you think that is just some of the propaganda that just...
no, the party should be worried about that. The thing is, I don't know whether it's true that he took money or he didn't take money. But I would have preferred that the party investigates that. Because if it's true that he took money, then that wouldn't be the last time. Going forward, what can that person do to us? But, I know Pablo, has spoken to him And the way I know him, I think he's a genuine man, and I don't think he will do that. But on the other side, I don't think we should just throw that or under the rug. It should be investigated. And if that's true, then I leave it to the party executives in Ghana
to take action.
To take action.
And speaking of that also, do you think that he should have addressed it during his campaign? Do you think he should have explicitly come out and say, hey, listen, I am facing this situation and I need to address it because it's a serious charge?
Yes, that's one of the worries. Because look, even within your campaign, you should have something like a rapid response team to think about certain things and come out. Because most NDC people, they also watch Kevin Taylor, as you say, and they were worried. Yeah, and when he won, even some of the people that I know, like Pablo, were not jubilating at all because they still want to find out the truth. They want to get to the bottom of it. So not until the party does something like that and come up with the truth,
it's still going to be a hanging.
Yes, it's something that will be hanging over our head, and people getting closer to him to help him will be a problem. Yes.
And I personally think that Pablo, bro, listen, big bro, I think you should just address the issue for your own sake.
You should.
Just so that you have, the freedom to do your work.
I agree with you 100%. He himself should do it, and the party should also investigate and come out and tell the voters that, look here, we've gotten to the bottom of it, it's true. We've gotten to the bottom of it, it's not true. So if it's true, then they should assure us that we're going to do something, because if we claim to be the party of probity and accountability, then we need to do that and prove to the people that that is what we stand for. And when we come to power, that is what we are espousing to do.
Good. So, Broja Jemfi, though, he's been a very long-serving member of the party. He's worked in the most difficult region there is to work in Ghana as far as NDC work goes, if you agree with me.
Yeah.
But he's been there at a time when the NDC wasn't even that attractive in the Ashanti region.
Yeah.
Don't you think the party should have rewarded him?
Well, you see, that's one of the things that we all think it has to change. We have to find a way of voting so that we vote on merit to get the right people there. I'm not saying that Pablo winning is not the right person, but what I'm saying is, if only about 1,300, 1,500 people are voting, and we know how people need money in Ghana,
it's
easier to get about 500 people, pay them off for them to vote, because that's what most people are saying. I don't know the truth in this, but you see, when you compare that to the national elections that we just had, the Congress, over 8,000 people voted. So if there's a contest between two people, it won't be easy to pay off 4,000 people to vote for you. So I think they should find a way of expanding that base.
But do you also think that they should have a way of rewarding contestants who everybody knows is quality contestants, but who lose at the elections? I'm sure the party has a mechanism. I actually heard President Mahama made a statement to the effect that those people will all be brought, together to, carry on the work of the party and all of that. So
well, as we stand now, I don't know if you're talking about affirmative action because you've been there for a very long time. Yeah, we could do that, but it would be very difficult because you cannot use affirmative action to say nobody should contest another person.
Oh no, I'm not talking about not contesting. I'm just saying that after they contested and lost, the party, I believe, has a mechanism.
No. That one is done everywhere, even in this country. I've followed the Democratic Party for a very long time. I was, when it comes to the Bronx, former Mario Cuomo's president, how do you call it, his governor thing.
Yeah,
I was part of his strategic team for the Bronx. Chuck Schumer, who is right now the speaker of the, how do you call it, I'm saying the Senate Majority Leader. I was also part of his campaign. I've been with so many campaigns, and I've seen people who run lost and they've been given some positions in other places. So this is what he has.
So the NDCs are alive to that.
Exactly. I think if they don't do it, they should find a way to do it, because that will encourage other people that if they come and they support the party to
because
some extent,
if you ask me,
yeah.
somebody like Broja JP almost split the vote.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a very vibrant youth front with both Pablo and Broja JP working together in harmony, I think that's going to work better for the NDC than to just say, okay, Pablo won, so he should carry all the load.
Well, with that, I'm sure that the party leadership will bring them together for them to
I'm sure
work
they're very smart. They know more than I do.
Yes.
Okay, let's come up. So we can't go through the whole list, but I'm going to let's look at some of the names that seems to shoot darts through the heart of the incumbent MPP.
Yeah.
A name like Hannah Louisa Bisil sent, shivers down the spine of some people that I know. Why do you think that is? And do you think that you made the right choice with
Well, if you say it sends shivers through the spine, which people's spine?
Who else but the incumbent? I already said it, the incumbent MPP.
Well, that's what we want, because I'm very happy that she's there. She's so vibrant, articulate, and she stands for what she believes in. And she doesn't take no prisoner. So, I'm a hardliner when it comes to NDC. And I like people like that. So I'm on her camp.
Okay.
I'm with her. So I want her to win. She won, and I'm very thrilled that she won.
Elikem Kotoko.
Look, I like this team. Those who will. Yes, Elikem is also the same. A hardliner who say that he's not very, very brave. He's not scared of anybody. Yes, even if you threaten to kill him, he will come out boldly to do what he has to do. So yes, I like him, and I think it was a right choice. So these two that you've mentioned so far, they are all the perfect choices that we needed.
General Secretary Fifi Kwete.
When we talk about firebrand in Ghana, he's one of them. I would say Kennedy Japan. I would say Fifi Kwete is the firebrand, because he is somebody who does research, comes out with the facts, and hits very hard. And I don't think the NPP can walk over him. They cannot trample over him at all. He's going to stand strong, stand tall, and he's going to do the bidding the way the NDC wants it.
Vice chairmanship slot with a name like Chief Azoka, and also Sherry Aite, who is very very strong, a very strong female figure, and who is expected to garner the female support. But also Chief Azoka. We all know what the names connotes. What message is the NDC sending to the NPP?
What message? The message that we are sending, that this time around we are not going to be bullied. We are not going to be killed.
Are you going to unleash the Azoka boys?
We are not going to die. This time around, we are going to sell good messages to the Ghanaians, and they will vote for us on merit. We will win, and we will take what belongs to us. So yes, if you say that, are we going to look? We are not going to intimidate any Ghanaian. But the thing is, this time around, we want people who will defend us when we are being shot at. And we think somebody like Chief Azoka will do that. He will protect that, he will defend us, and we will live after the vote. So that's what we want. We don't want anybody to die this time around. So we need people that will protect us. And Chief Azoka is the perfect person to help with the team.
And then the ultimate, the general himself.
The general?
The small, you see, this is the thing. Asidu Ketia is one of the most diminutive people I know in Ghana. He's one of the smallest in terms of stature. And then he chooses the name of one of the tiniest creatures on earth, the mosquito. Yet he strikes so much terror in some people. Why do you think that is?
Wow.
And first of all, are you happy that he won?
You see, first of all, I'm very, very happy that he won. And I read this somewhere. A wise man said, a man is not a man, or the man is not a man, but the mind of the man is the man. So when we're talking about a man, I'm not saying, when I say man, it's figurative. I'm trying to say when we're talking about somebody who's somebody smart, intelligent, and yes, it's not by stature, but it's by the mind. Because in this modern age, it's not about lifting something or just picking up something to kill somebody. No, it's what you know and how you can study the psychology of the people and use it against them. And we think the general is there. That's what the general does best, very articulate. Look, each time I see the general going for an interview, even if something happens and we are all scared that, look, people are going to blame us, or when he gets there, the way he speaks, the way he will turn things around, when you listen to him, you will be marveled. I tell you, if the general was in this country, you will know, at this time, one of the big universities would have taken him, he would be lecturing over there. And they will get him even out of politics.
The issue, though, is that Ofosuampofu was not necessarily a bad chairman either, right?
Yeah.
How difficult would it have been to you know?
You see, and I was even telling somebody that it's only the general that can beat Ofosuampofu. Because Ofosuampofu himself, you see, NDC has so many good people to handle the positions that we just elected people to hold. You see, but the only thing is, I've seen that, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they thought that the tape that came out that they were blaming Ofosuampofu with a whole lot of spinning of lies around it weakened him a little bit. You see, and some of them were also telling me that when people were being shot at, Techiman and also Ayawaso was gone, at least he should have come out to tell the people that, look here, our constitution tells us to defend ourselves when we are being killed. So NDC youth, be on alert. If they continue this way, we will give you the signal to defend yourself. Nothing happened. You see, the same thing goes to Pablo. Because at least we needed somebody like that to tell us that, look here.
To give the order.
Yes, that stand by. And if this thing continues, we are going to give you the signal to defend yourself. Nothing like that happened. You see, so people think he's weak. He's not, right? But the thing is, sometimes people make mistakes. So a little mistake can put you in a position where
did he sell the wrong message? Because from listening to the two of them, the message that I garnered from the two of them was this: Ofosuampofu explicitly actually said that he was depending more on strategy. General Mosquito, the message that I heard from him was that I am prepared to defend the ballot and to defend, the foot soldiers or the voters. Now, if you look at these two, I would think that, okay, the NDC did not go into 2020 without strategy yet. Whether you lost fairly or not, you are not in government now. So what the NDC needs going forward, it's not necessarily strategy, because you already have that.
Yes.
What you have is a strategy to protect your vote, and that's what I think General Mosquito was selling.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
No, that was what we were expecting, because in the 2020 elections, look at how many parliamentarian seats that we won.
Yes.
And look at the controversy that came on some of them, because the NDC know we won outright. But some of them were taken from us, especially look at Techiman.
Yeah.
What happened over there and other places. You see? So we knew
and
we won.
South, which doesn't have an MP.
We knew we won and it was taken from us. So this time around, we want somebody that will protect that ballot. That will be cast.
So you think Ofosuampofu shot himself in the foot when he said, oh, let's be calm, we don't need gidi, we don't need Batakari. And the Batakari is a symbol of war. It's a symbol of resistance. So if you say we don't need Batakari, then you are saying I'm going to sit down and still let the MPP have their way, basically. So I don't know how.
As good as Ofosuampofu is, this time around, we thought that, look here, you've been there for 4 years with what happened, you are good, but please, stay on the
We
sideline.
need
Let
a
somebody
more
else
general.
come. If you have something, just support the general. Let's move on. So we needed a new face, somebody who will come out. If we're talking in terms of strategy, we needed a new strategy.
And because they can pelt him with pure water and still go and vote for the MPP.
Well, not exactly, because when you take a look at the last election that we had, our vote wasn't bad at all.
You went up there.
Yes, and that time, all this corruption and mismanagement and all these things that people have realized now, they didn't even know.
It wasn't that bad.
Yes, so at this time around, I know we are going to increase the votes again. It's going to go up. Yes, and right now, you know, with Yamin and Bachanfo, as you say, you see, if I'm an NPP supporter, looking at what, or the way they have run this country, with all this corruption, nepotism, and all what is going on, I don't think this party is worth dying for. So if there's an election and someone has won on merit, I don't think if I'm an MPP and they call me to just come and fight it, I'll do it. I don't think, look, I've spoken to a lot of MPP people and they are disappointed, but what they will tell you is that, oh, both parties are the same.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear any MPP saying both parties are the same,
What's your response to that? Both parties are the same.
No, both parties cannot be the same. Look, how much money did President Mahama borrow? It's around 58 billion. Go to the Green Book. Everything that is in the Green Book is there. And besides, there are other things that are not in the Green Book. They are there. Akufo-Addo, now look at where he has ballooned our debt to. Money that we bought, he has borrowed. It's almost like 3 times what Mahama borrowed. And they cannot point to one thing that they did from scratch to the end. You see? And look at certain things that we have. Look, now people, we're talking about all this CD depreciation. Right now, we can't even call it depreciation, we call it fluctuating. What is it? Is it a synthetic fluctuation or whatever it is? You see, look at all these things. What has they done to stabilize the dollar? We need exports, right?
Well, they would say that the city has appreciated against the dollar in recent days.
But they themselves, can they tell us why that happened? If within 1 week, the city can drop from 15 to about
9
8.
or something.
Isn't that artificial? Huh? I was telling somebody that if 1 week it can drop that low, then we should give it 1 month. 1 month, every Ghanaian will be given free money because we go below the
I was in Ghana around September, thereabouts, and around that time, I think there was going to be some injection of capital in the system or something. And Kojo Okonkwo came out talking about, oh, you better go change your dollars because it's going to be worth whatnot, you know. And from then, 2 weeks after he said that, the dollar went from 9 at the time to like 14 or so, right? So I don't know what's going on there with that, but
no one knows. But what I've realized that every Christmas I send some remittances to family members, and what I've realized that every Christmas the dollar goes down a little bit because there's no pressure on the dollar.
Yes.
What happens is people who want to sell, needed the dollar about 4 months ago. They needed it. They imported whatever they needed. So when it gets to this point, the Christmas is near. No one is buying, importing anything. But after they've sold the things that they imported, what happens? They will be looking for dollar. So somewhere in February, if it's still going down or if it's still stable.
And plus, there's also a lot of remitting during Christmas.
Exactly.
There's a lot of remitting.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people going back home.
There's
a lot of tourists going there around that time. So all of that.
All these are undisputed factors that has resulted to this. Because why are they not coming out to tell us that these are the measures that we put in place? That's the reason why the city has appreciated against the dollar. And they should also give us some confidence that look here, it's going to be stable for the foreseeable future. They cannot tell us all these things. So I don't think if they themselves know what happened.
Gabriel Chidaku says the NDC has elected a team of propagandists. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm lucky. We are lucky. He didn't even say we have elected a team of executioners. Gabriel Chidaku will say anything, so we don't take his, whatever Gabriel Chidaku say for anything. Yeah, but we know the people that we have elected are going to do what we want them to do.
And before I forget, Sami Jenfi.
Yeah.
The party retained Sami Jenfi.
Yeah.
What's your how do you feel about that?
Right now, the face of our party is Sami Jenfi and President Mahama. Yeah. So Sami Jenfi, everybody knew that they don't have to contest him because he's done a very marvelous job.
Nobody was dumb enough to go waste resources.
No.
Contesting him.
Yeah, nobody. So he did a very good job, and he's going to continue. And we know this time around he will do better job than what he did.
So there's also let's be blunt. There's a Baffour faction in the party. There are also small pockets of people who may not necessarily, be dancing to the Mahama rhythm. Is it fair, first of all, and is it in terms of precedent, is it good for the party to start putting Mahama forward as a presumptive leader? Because it looks as if everybody who went into this election realized that if they did not have a certain association with Mahama, their chances were going to be slim. And the party actually, in not too many words, described Mahama as the presumptive leader, when we know that Baffour has ambition.
You see, Baffour, we all know that he's an entrepreneur. He can also bring something to the table. I hope that going forward, maybe he will join the team and help us, move forward. Or even after we've won, he will bring his know-how, what he can do best to support the party for us to rule the country. But right now, let's face it, NDC has a lot of people who are equally good to be presidents. But at this moment, the one who can sell his message best is President Mahama. Nobody beats him. Because we know what he did. And before then, the journalists didn't do a good job telling the Ghanaian voter what he did.
Or your communication team didn't do a good job communicating that.
Well,
take some of the blame.
You see, when there's
because honestly, it took Kevin Taylor to explain the guinea fowl thing properly to Ghanaians. What were your communicators doing?
Well, our communicators, I think, did their best. But the thing is, when you are in opposition, when you are in power, especially I'm talking about before 2016 election, when you are in power and there's something like hardships, like Doomsaw, the kind of hardship that Doomsaw brought to us, whatever you do, if people are not feeling it, they don't want to hear you. They rather want to hear the one who's saying the negative things about you. So that is what happened. Because take a look at it. President Mahama was doing so many things. Look at Commander Sugar Factory. How much in dollar equivalent of sugar do we import to the country? You see, so there was Commander Sugar Factory. If it takes about 1 year or less to grow cane sugar to feed the industry, if we had done that, we will reduce the dollar amount that we use to import sugar, and that will help with our CD depreciation. Look at Ridge Hospital and this Quatena Hospital, Bank of Ghana Hospital, and all these things that we did. You see, if those things were in operation, people from all over West Africa, those who are going to India, South Africa, and other places to seek medical care, will be coming to Ghana to do what? Spend money. Even in 2015, I think I read, according to Center for African Journalists, they said Nigerians, when the polytechnics were converted to tertiary universities, about 76,000 Nigerians came to Ghana to patronize, according to Center for African Journalists.
To patronize the schools?
They came to, they attended.
I'm very much aware of that.
Yes.
I was in the University of Ghana. huge number of Nigerians
Yes, and
that used to come.
exactly.
People with money.
Yeah, and other Nigerians alone, and people were coming from Sierra Leone, South Africa, and other places also. And the Nigerians paid into our economy $1.2 billion. Yes, and these are some of the things that help with our city appreciating against the dollar, because these are money which is being circulated in our economy. You see, and when you take a look at that, there are so many things that they were doing to bring money. Look at Tema Port, which has been expanded. There are certain big ships that couldn't come in those days. Now they are able to come. Look at Terminal 3, and these are all paying for itself.
Yes.
People are coming in, paying money, generating money for the country. These are some of the things that President Mahama was doing. That's what I'm saying. He can tell his story better than anybody.
It's a no contest.
At all. I don't think
it's in the best interest of the party to just endorse him.
I would wish tomorrow.
And save the money, by the way.
Exactly. I would wish tomorrow.
Save the money that's
by acclamation. We will give it to him by acclamation, and we will start the campaign right now. Tell our story to the Ghanaian people, so that when the time comes, they will vote for us.
Chairman, how do you assess the performance of the NPP?
The performance of the NPP. Yes. Can anybody assess that? It's a no-brainer. Look at President Akufo-Addo. You see, there's a reason why there's something called conflict of interest. You see, and President Mahama once said that when you are told to go and arrest or prosecute your enemy, it's easier than you prosecuting your friend or somebody you know. So if you come into a government and you bring more than 40 people who are related to you, no matter what you do, you cannot prosecute them or even censure them. And this is what is going on. Look at Ken Oforiatta.
We started calling for his dismissal way before it became trendy to do so in Ghana.
Yeah.
Here on this show, we realize that guy is not the right person.
But they know that if he's taken out of that place, whoever comes will uncover the dead bodies, and they will find where the bodies
like
are buried.
President Mahama said.
They will find where the bodies are buried. Exactly. So they don't want to get rid of him.
Okay, Chairman, thank you very much, Chairman. Before we go, what message do you have from NDC New York to NDC Ghana and the larger NDC family?
Okay. The message that I have is, look here. I want our national leaders to know that no matter where any NDC member resides, they can have an impact on this 2024 elections. So whatever is going on, wherever there's rift, they should at least have a team or some people to make sure that rift is settled. Because New York, with our problem right now, when President Mahama even called for people to donate to fund the Congress, I heard people saying that if NDC, if the chapter comes to ask us, we are not going to pay. So what should I have to do? So I came and I said, okay. I waited for a few days. Only few people were donating into that. So what did I do? I said, okay, New York, we are going to do ours. Because if I call, the people will pay, because they are still mad at the chapter, and they don't want to have anything to do with them. So that's why I'm saying such problems has to be solved, because those who are here helps a lot. Because look, the last time around, I'm not boasting, come from Amansia East, and I helped a little bit over the day that we were doing the elections. We encourage most New Yorkers. We told them, look here, the day of the elections, if you can feed people, feed them. If you can get people to pick up old, the elderly that cannot walk to the polling station, please support them. And we were able to also raise, over the last 2 days, we raised money for 2 parliamentarians to support them. There are so many things that we can do. And at this time around, I'm putting up a committee for fundraising, and we're going to start very early, and we're going to go to the headquarters and ask what they want. We want them to give us a list so that we can choose from that list and make sure we provide those things for them. And by doing so, we know all these things are going to have effect. But if the people are kind of disenchanted and they separate themselves from the party because of certain things that are going on, it will be very difficult for you to approach them. That's why even when we were going to have these elections, you see, before they started that you have to pay 4 years dues to be able to vote. I was challenging because as where I sit right now as the chairman of New York, when the pandemic hit, during the lockdown, there are some people who don't have papers here. Monies that were being given out, food, they couldn't access it. Some of them called me and I had to, organize my household because even Costco, they were rationing rice and all these things. So we went there, pick up a few and had to give to them. So I was saying, come, I have seen all these things. These are people who were helping the party. And you are telling me that because they couldn't have money, they couldn't work during the lockdown, if they can't pay $480, they can't vote. You see? Because after that, when you want to go to these people to ask for donations, or you want them to help the party, they get mad, they get peeved. So these are some of the things that, sometimes when we are doing it, we have to be very mindful, think deeply about that before we even bring it out. You see? Yeah.
Thank you very much. And then very last thing. Are you, on behalf of the NDC, assuring Ghanaians that you are going to do your best to win power, stop the Bring the Aid agenda, and also to seek accountability for Ghanaians? Seek accountability on behalf of Ghanaians. I know it's several layers above you to make that promise, but you are chairman of NDC in New York. That's not a small thing at all. So you should be able to at least give us a hint of what the posture of the party is as far as those things go.
Oh yeah, there are so many things that we are putting in place. As I said, even in New York, we are going to have something like a committee for ROPA. In case ROPA comes, we are going to be prepared to deal with that. So we're going to have a committee for that, and as I told you, the committee for fundraising, we're going to have that. And we have some good people, especially we have this lady called Florence Zenia. She's done some few videos that has gone viral, and just quite recently, the latest one that he brought, I think 3 days ago, where she's talking about the MPP saying that we should learn how to collate our figures, and she came out and said, no party has the right to collate any figures. We should have a body, and that body is supposed to collate. We should have confidence in that body enough to collate our figures and all those things. So we have some strong ladies and men communicators. We are going to put them together, and I think when it gets there, we may even approach you to help us, or give us somebody who will be helping us with the videos, because we are not going to play at all. We are going to have impact when it comes to communications, when it comes to fundraising, and even we are also going to, encourage people to show up, campaign, or even work to become polling agents, and also some of them to vote. There are so many things that we are going to do this time around. Most of these things has never been done, but this time around in New York, we are going to put it in our agenda, and we will make sure that we execute that to the best that we can do to help the party.
Chairman Baffour,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right. This has been MixMixx. It's been such a riveting interview. Thank you for watching. My name is Kwesi E, Baako. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you next week with another episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
3682 or +233 20 074 6821. Royal Omnical Properties, we are your peace of mind.